You know any difference between library and framework? So library is something like the utility set. Like for example, it's like, for example, if you're walking on a road, if you want to go from a place A to place B. So general way to do is we walk down. But library is something like which will make you walk easy to that distance. Like for example, uh, using a bike or car or a cycle or something like that, which will take you to the destination very easily. Got it?
Yeah.
But framework is something like a system. You might use car or bike or something like that, but you have to follow a specified system. Let's say you are going from place A to place B. There'll be one ways, there'll be some signals. You have to walk only on the left side of the you have to drive only on the left side of, I mean, let's say divider with two lanes, you have to drive only on the left side, you should not drive on the right side. You should follow some speed limit. So those restrictions, so that you can reach your destination very easily without any disturbances. So it's like best practices when you're, it's like combination of different best practices so that you can make your work easy. Got it?
Yeah.
So something like that. So it's end of the day, you're traveling from here to there. I mean, even if no system is there, let's say you're driving early in the morning, 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock, you don't have to follow any system. You can just drive even on the main road, right? Nobody asks you.
Yeah.
But the point is like in a real time you have to follow some systems because there'll be so many disturbances. Somebody will be coming on the other side, lot of traffic, you might bump into others and get into accident. So to avoid such kind of things, some people who knows about this, they'll properly they'll prepare some rules and regulations so that you follow that and you'll avoid accidents. Assumption. Similarly, when we are building a real-time application, let's say there are no issues, no visitors are coming, nothing's happening, no, all is well. But let's say if you're working on real time, there'll be so many issues that coming up. More number of people working on a same project, same module, different types of coding styles and all. So framework is something like, and there might be so many pitfalls that we might not observe. Let's say, for example, there are 10 elements in the DOM. On a button click, you want to set same value to 10 elements, right? Every time you click a button, you have to change the value of 10 elements with the same value. So sometimes it's tough to retrieve 10 elements, or sometimes it takes more time, or sometimes you might miss a particular element, so which results in inconsistency. These kind of problems, when people worked on real-time web applications, they came across some problems. It need not to be web applications. When they're working on a specific area, they come across some problems. So to overcome that, they would have followed some best practices. Okay, so Angular is such kind of best practice. So I mean, it's combination of many things, but end of the day, it's a common. It's a one result of combination of many good practices. Okay, so AngularJS was developed by Google. So their idea was to, I mean, like they used MVC framework. That's one of the design patterns basically. So basically, we don't have any uh, design patterns that many people followed design patterns. Even our project, we had plain JavaScript, but we followed some design patterns like having inheritance and all sort of stuff. But when these guys came up with an entire set of framework where we have model views and control, I'll tell you about MVC. So they came up with their own set of stuff, and on top of it, people build their own on top of Angular. Angular also provides utilities, not just a framework. So it also provides utilities so that you can reach whatever easily. So it's like you can say that, but difference is when you use a library, you have to define your own structure. Let's say you are using car and there is no restrictions. You should take care of yourself, right? So let's say you're going on a wrong road. I mean, one way, but you're going in a wrong direction. You just have a car. There is no system. when you're following, when you're taking risk of going there, you should take care of avoiding accidents. You should be more careful, right? But when you're following a system where there is signals, where are everything, already some precautions are already taken by people, so that maximum chances of accidents are less. Only if you're neglect or if somebody is driving very rash, it fails. Accident occurs, right? Same way, when you're
Yes.
using a library, it's just utility, how to reach your destination, how to get your things done. But how do you use it? It's up to you. If you use it improperly, if you drive rashly or if you go wrongly, you will be in trouble. But framework, most of the things are already taken care, until unless inside it, if you don't use it properly the way they say, let's say if red signal comes up, you have to stop. But if you drive, then there's a chance of action. So similarly, when you're following a framework, you have to follow some rules, whatever they say. And if you don't follow that, there are chances of failing. Or if you use it improperly, you may fail. So that is basic difference between library and framework. So especially in JavaScript, when you're learning JavaScript, you'll every day hear new libraries coming up, new frameworks coming up. So we should know some difference between what is library, where is framework. So many times people try to compare with jQuery and Angular. So actually we should not compare, because jQuery is a library, Angular is a framework. Okay. JavaScript, which are built on top of JavaScript. JavaScript is base for both of them, and jQuery is a library built on top of JavaScript, and AngularJS is a framework built on top of JavaScript. There are many other libraries, underscore JS. There are many libraries like underscore JS, Dojo. Dojo has library and framework both. So there are many things like that. In frameworks also we have a lot of things like EXTJS, EmberJS, AngularJS, ReactJS, many things like that. Okay. But Angular is one of the popular things now. There are many other things apart from Angular, which are MVC, which have almost all the features, but more or less it got more fame because like the way they implemented it and all. Okay. So now coming back to MVC, what is MVC design pattern? So for example, now you saw your codes, right? You're writing your code for to-do application. So most of the times what happens is we have three components, right? Like we have HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Those are the three components in one sense. The other components is, for example, you're trying to build a to-do application. So whatever user sees is one view, one component, right? Let's say user is not aware of what code you are writing and how are you saving your values, where are you keeping your values. For example, user typed something and pressed enter. Where are you keeping that value is immaterial for the user. What he says, whatever I type should come down is what he says, right?
Yeah.
So now if we see in that angle, whatever view user sees is one component, and that's called view. Okay, view component. So whatever we see on the browser, that is view component. That is one part of MVC. So MVC stands for model, view, and controller. So view is something that we see externally on the screen, which user can interact and all, right? So next one is model. Model is something like the content. Where do we what value to show? For example, you type something, we should show something down, right? What is that something is the model. So the content that we see inside is a model, right? We see some physical elements,
Yes.
but the value can change, right? For example, to do, you can write breakfast, same application, I can write lunch. You can write JavaScript, I can write Java, right? The content, that particular content is called model. Okay. Guys, you able to
Yeah.
understand?
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
Am I making sense?
Yeah. Vishnu.
Okay. So now, third part is controller. What is this controller? For example, I type something and press enter. What should happen when I press enter? There is a view which user sees. There is a button, and user entered some text that is called model, that is data. And now when I press enter, that should come down. How should it come down? Whether it should come down or should go up? So that which binds the, so now you understand, right? That's a connection between model and view. So what happens when you click? It will actually bind
Yes.
your view and model. How it binds, what it should bind, it takes care of everything, right?
Yeah.
In other sense, both of them are static. View and content are static, right? This brings life to both of them. Where should it puts them in right place, it puts the, gives the right functionality, right interactions and all, right? So that is a uh, aspect of controller. So these, all of them combined together make it model, view and controller. So if the point of MVC is, it should be more, as much as, it's not more, it should be completely splitted across, your application should split across these three things. So it's generally, you should not combine model, you should not combine view and controller together. It should be independent. So all of them should do their own task. It should not do some other task, right? So that is the main concept of MVC. So for example, uh, let's say we are writing some function. So most of the times we deal with, we have some data, we directly try to deal with, sometimes create, for example, we saw our code, right? To do application, when I type something and press enter, in the handler, what we are doing, we are creating some elements, DOM elements, right? Create
Yeah.
li element and inserting into the DOM, right?
Yeah.
Which is like you're combining controller, model and view together. You're having data, which is model, you are having view, which is li element, and and you're trying to create that element and decide where to put it. So you're mixing both, three of them there. But in
Yeah.
Angular, three of them will be separate. Controller just does, what it does is, it takes the data and says that view, dear view, render this particular data. View will take care of how to render it, how to insert it, how to do whatever and all. So we should not directly deal with DOM in the MVC architecture, especially in Angular. One blind rule in Angular is, you should not directly deal from the controller or from the model. Model is just a data. You should be able to understand very easily. Data, it can be array, it can be variable. So it's just a data. So there's no much logic about it. There is no chance of, one caution is, you should not put directly HTML elements into your model, right? That's stupid thing. So you get some data from the server, let's say to-do list. You get it in array of items, right? Yesterday I was telling you about local storage. So similarly, let's say whenever you load page, you make a call to the server to get the user specific, let's say we have a login. I logged in, Vishwanath. So I want to get all my to-do list from the server. So I'll make a request saying to the server saying that, get me all the to-do items of Vishwanath. So it returned back with the data. So what we do is, generally we keep it in a global variable. We try to loop through each of them and create li elements and put it into DOM from one place on ready or something like that, right? On load of a page or something like that. But in the MVC architecture, what we do is, we get the data, put it in a model, in an array. Model is something, we just keep it aside. Now the controller, what it does is, it takes the data and says, gives it to the view, that's all. It doesn't create li elements. It just gives to the view saying that this is the data, render it however you want. Okay, so it renders, I mean, we write a logic in the UI how to render that. So now the UI takes care of doing it. Got it? So
Yeah.
this is basic difference between what we wrote in jQuery and what we'll be writing in AngularJS. So end of this Angular session, you should be able to build to-do app using Angular, right?
Yeah.
Probably we can use local storage or something like that. But then you'll understand what is the difference between this and that. So, and then on top of it, Angular has many other features like dependency injection. There's a concept called binding, data binding. This concept called services and factories. Many other concepts like that. So we'll just see a basic application today on how to build, what to do and how to actually, like we saw jQuery, how do we include jQuery and all. So based on that, probably we'll take up one feature every day and then try to understand what that feature is, and try end of the day we'll try to build that application, right?
Yeah.
So I'll share my screen. You're seeing my screen, right?
Yeah. Okay. No.
So Plunker. Let's go into Plunker. Now launch the editor. So now I have a basic application. Let me create a new AngularJS application. So there are many versions of Angular. First thing, basically two major versions. Angular got released in two major versions. First version is 1.x, second version is 2.x, which got released recently. Actually in JavaScript, there is another thing called as recent version of, I told you, right, JavaScript came from ECMAScript basically. So JavaScript origin is from ECMA. So now they have a latest version of JavaScript, which is ES6. ES 2015 basically. So ES 2016. So what happens is they come up with new features of JavaScript and all. So now they introduce classes. They introduce, I mean, we have function, right? We use function for a class, right? In JavaScript. In latest version of JavaScript, you can directly use a class. You can directly say class name and all. You can use extends directly. They're trying to make it more into a programming language construct or something like that. Okay. So that is ES6. So Angular 2.x version is based on the DS6. So that is why you see there is something called as ES6. I mean, this is like having compilers and TypeScript. TypeScript is another new concept. So basically 2.x, either ES5 or TS are all based on the latest version. Okay, so Angular 2.x uses that. And 1.x uses normal plain JavaScript that we discussed all these days. So, I mean, the ES6 is still not so rampant in the market. People are using it, but most of the browsers doesn't support ES6 features. Only Chrome or Firefox kind of thing works. So real-time applications, if you want to use, it might not be supported in all browsers. That's the reason people did not move to vastly. But some startup companies are still going with the latest ES6 and use some transpiler. There is something called as transpiler, like compiler, translator, something like that. It's combination of compiler and translator. It's called transpiler, which converts your JavaScript code that you write in higher version to lower version of JavaScript, so that it can be executable in any browser. Things like that. Okay, so we'll go with 1.4, which is the latest version. So in Plunker, if you come and say create new AngularJS project, it will actually automatically renders your project, right? So what's happening? Okay, so now if you see, like jQuery, here also we just include a AngularJS library file. That's all. In your HTML head, you just have to include the source file of AngularJS. You can find it uh, online. So CDN, you can find that link like we find for jQuery. So you just have to include it in a script that will take care. So this data require and all is the attribute of this particular Plunker. So you don't have to worry about it. You just have to worry about SRC, and you don't have to worry about this data Swember or something like that. The only thing is script source should be you should be including AngularJS. Now some important parts of AngularJS is, so basically once you load your AngularJS, you can have a portion of your page with AngularJS and other portion of page which doesn't use AngularJS. So that is the basic, I mean, we have things called directives. There are many things in AngularJS. So let me introduce some of the keywords or so directive is a keyword in one of the keywords in JavaScript, AngularJS. So what directives does is, directives, the terminology sounds to be very big, but it's very simple. So directive is something like which directs your something. So for example, what does HTML tag do? It basically renders your web page. It's start tag of a web page. It doesn't have any meaning, right?
Yeah.
But a directive is something like which changes the functionality of that particular tag. It can be directly a tag also. Let's say instead of HTML, I can come up with a new tag. That is the power of AngularJS, where you can come up with your own tags actually. So you can create your own tags. Let's say you're, for example, you're trying to render student information. Okay, so you have to list 10 student informations. So each student will have name, age, class, and all those things, right? So for every student, you have to create 4 or 5 spans which are having all of them, right? So
Yeah.
instead of writing every time all those 10 tags, you can create a student tag directly. You can say tag called student like this, student, and give some data to it. So that will take care of, sorry, I spelled it wrong. So it will take care of putting an image, putting a name, and all those things. You can create such kind of things in AngularJS, okay, which is not generally possible in plain JavaScript or jQuery. So it can be a new tag. If a general, let's say you don't have power of AngularJS, let's say you did not include this. So you can still use a tag called student, right? Browser will not throw any error, okay? Right? But if you see, it just doesn't render, it just renders it normally. It doesn't concern, it is not concerned about the tag. It just renders, it doesn't throw any error. Of course, this Plunker shows this error, but generally in browser, it doesn't throw an error because if it doesn't know, browser doesn't know any particular tag, it just doesn't consider the tag, it just renders the content inside it. Okay, but
Yeah.
directive in AngularJS is something like, so by default browser renders it as it is, just the content, it doesn't know anything. But AngularJS knows that, okay, student is a particular tag which should render an image, which should render a user student name, which AngularJS directs browser saying that, okay, don't just render the content, you have to render the content in a way that it shows a student information, right? And similarly an attribute. So attribute like this, ng app. Generally, I mean, any Angular attribute, by default Angular attributes start with ng hyphen, and then some name of the attribute. So that will act, that is another directive. Directives can be different types. One type is tag name, second one is attribute. This is another kind of directives which will tell the browser, don't just render an HTML page, but do something else, right? Here you see ng controller, right? Which just says that don't just render a body, consider it as a controller. We'll discuss what is, like we talked about controllers, right? We'll discuss about it. So have something else, not just rendering your body, but consider as make it uh, more add more functionality to it, kind of stuff. Got the point, right? What I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So AngularJS has a concept called as directives. To summarize what I said, AngularJS has a concept called directives, and what it does is it tells the browser, it directs the browser to do something different than the normal behavior, right? Like for example, when you're going on the road, I told you about a framework, right? I'll try to relate everything what I say to a framework, like the system that we follow when we're driving on a road. So we have to follow some rules, right? So directive is something like signboards. Let's say you're going on a road. You just by default go normally on the road. But whenever you see a direction board, let's say work in progress, take right. You see a lot of boards like that, right? There is some metro work or some. So by default you have to go in straight if you're going on a road. But whenever you see a directive like that or direction like that, you have to divert your direction. Sometimes it can be direction, sometimes it can be school zone, go slow, right? That can also be. By default you're going fast, but whenever you see that, you change your behavior when you're going, right?
Yeah.
Now you understood more clarity what directive is. And it can be any kind of directive. It can be board. Sometimes it can be police standing there and he can be saying go left, go right, or go slow, something like that, right?
Yeah.
Or it can be sometimes signal. So directions are, I mean, you're controlling your normal behavior in many ways when you're going on road. Sometimes it can be boards, sometimes it can be signals, sometimes it can be police, sometimes it can be your own intuition. Similarly, in AngularJS also, we have different kinds of ways in which we say the browser that don't render it normally, render in some other way. Got it?
Okay. Yeah.
But it can happen in many ways. One can be tag, one can be attribute. Attribute means you know the attribute, right? Whatever we give inside tag, id is equal to something, class is equal to something. Id is an attribute, class is an attribute, style is an attribute, something like that. So we can give a custom attribute so that browser knows, okay, I should not render this, I should render this, something like that, right? It can be comments also. Sometimes in Angular, comments can also act as attributes, directives, things like that. Or sometimes classes. You can say class name is equal to something. That particular class name acts as a directive for the entire tag that you are using. So there are 4 different kinds of directives in AngularJS. Okay, we'll discuss in more detail, but I'm just telling you because I could have directly said what ngapp is, but I'm just trying to say. So now, whenever you include this AngularJS, whatever we are seeing in line number 9, then all these attributes make sense. Otherwise, if you give a wrong attribute, browser doesn't do anything. Let's say I remove this Angular. Okay, so you can still see some content. Like for example, it just rendered, right? So it just rendered whatever content is inside it. Hello name, right? You saw this, right?
Yeah.
In the left, right side. Because it doesn't know what app is, it doesn't know what controller is. But just by adding AngularJS, you see that hello name became hello world. Why?
Yeah.
Because I added some directives here which says that don't just render body normally, consider this particular controller, ng controller. Okay, let me start from ng app. Ng app is something you can put it to any element. You can put it to HTML tag, you can put it to body tag, or you can have it to a div, right? For example, let me show that. You saw it with app, right? It worked normally, it got hello world. Let's say I use a div. I'll put this ng plunker, ng app plunker to this particular. Now see it. Now what happens is, okay, I'll leave it. So I have, so whatever tag which has ng app is only considered as Angular application. So ng app is something like, it's a directive saying that, okay, dear browser, apply Angular concepts only to the tag which has ng app. Now when you apply ng app to HTML, entire application will become Angular compliant, right? But when you apply to only div, only this particular thing will be Angular compliant, rest of the thing will render normally as HTML and it use normal JavaScript. Got it? Now that's the reason when you see here, although I had ng app and the HTML that worked as hello world, but now it did not work, right? It's rendering normally as hello name because this doesn't know what is this these 2 arrows mean. It doesn't know anything, so it just renders normally. So that's ng app. Second thing is ng controller. So ng controller is another directive which says that this can also be used anywhere, but ng controller should always be used inside ng app. So like now if you see earlier when I add ng app to HTML, ng controller was for the tag which is inside HTML, right? Which is like
Yeah.
ng app should always be to a parent element and ng controller should always be inside parent, like any of the childs. Got it?
Yeah.
So now this can also be given to any other element. Okay, now I'll take it and let me put it to, because I should have it to a child of ng app. I'll create another div and put ng controller to this. So this should be general way of combination of ng app and ng controller. Now ng app can have multiple controllers, right? It can be main controller 1, main controller 2, or anything like that. It's up to you. You can have how many controllers inside an app. It's up to you. Okay. So it says that what does ng controller say is, so ng app says to the browser that whatever comes inside this particular tag, start tag and end tag of this particular tag, apply all Angular rules on top of it. That is what ng app says. And what does ng controller do? So what does ng controller do is, ng controller says that whatever comes in between this tag, so line number 16 to line number 18, apply the scope of this particular controller. So controller is like, you can, like for example, you can say in olden days, like kings were controllers, right? So everybody have their own restriction and they can control that entire city or state or something like that. You can even consider chief minister or somebody like that. Chief minister is a controller for that particular state. His power, his control is only in that state. Whatever activities that happen inside state, he can control it, right? But he can't control outside. See, similarly, ng controller, whatever happens inside, you should follow the way the controller says, right? Like we discussed on button click, what should happen. So you can have two buttons here. Okay, one button here, button. So you can have another button here. So on click of this particular button, this controller might do something else. And click of this button, this controller might do something else because this is under control of another controller. Got the point?
Yeah.
So, and the way it binds the data, you can probably sometimes have same variables in both of them. So the way the controller binds the data is also it's up to it. So it can be, both of them can be input fields, but one controller can bind X data to it, another controller can bind Y data to it. It's up to it. So the point is, whatever is inside the tag, so I had multiple controllers because to say that everyone have their own scope. Controller has each controller has its own way of dealing with the data and the views. And sometimes same view can be used in multiple, like for example, you can use button, right? Similarly, you can use your own custom attribute like student. Let's say the first controller also have student tag, second controller also have student tag, third controller also I have student tag, right? But first controller might decide I'll display college student details. Second controller might decide I'll display school student details. Third controller might decide something else. Got it? So that is about controllers. So ng controller. So whenever you say that ng controller, it assigns that particular controller, main controller, to this particular entire content inside the tag. Now coming back. So now if you see, I had this. Still, my name is hello name. Now let's have this. So when I had this particular hello name inside a P, inside this content, when my app was to HTML, my ng controller was to body, it worked properly. So let me put back this inside it and see what happens. You saw it? It still came up as hello world. But this did not come up as hello world because it's not under control of Angular. It's outside. It's just basic HTML, right? You got the point? So now, what is this? So you understand the P tag, right? It's normal. P tag is normal. Hello is normal. Something that's weird over here is something like this. We have two flower braces and two ending flower braces, and in between it there is something called as name. So now, so what are these two mustaches? These flavor braces. These are generally called as mustaches. Is also called as templating. So for example, you have an album, photo album, right? Olden days photo album, if you remember, you'll print photos of whatever size you want, and there'll be holders inside your album. You just have to put your photos. And tomorrow, if you don't want those photos, you can remove those photos and put some other photos into it, right? You remember that kind of photo albums?
Yeah.
So templates are something like that. So for example, if you have to construct a string, right, which says that, hi, my name is something. So what we do, if you want to show alert like that, many times what we do, we concat two strings. One can be one string, one can be a variable. You can concat a string and another variable. Variable can hold my name one time, your name one time, some other name on a time, right? So what we do is string A plus string B. When you combine it, you'll get string C, right? That's what we generally do. We generally try to concatenate strings. Similar concept. Template is something like that, where whenever you see these mustaches, those are placeholders. Okay. In a template, those are placeholders. Like in photo album, you will have a covering page, right? Cover cardboard in the top and the end, right? Those are just
Yeah.
saying these two mustaches or something like that. Whenever you see that, you understand, okay, this is place where you can put something inside it. And this name is something like what you can put inside it. So what you can put a name here. So name here is a model. So the content, this holds different value. Sometimes it can hold Vishwanath, sometimes it can hold Subhash, sometimes it can hold Rishi. So whatever content is inside name, whenever I surround it by mustaches, so what it does is, instead of directly saying name, like for example, if I remove this mustaches, what will happen? It will just render hello name, right? Because in a
Yeah.
HTML, whatever we write, it will be printed. But whenever I had this, Angular will know that. So whenever I add this mustaches around this name, it will not directly render as a name, but will it render the value inside the name. You remember C programming language where we have this, you know C, right? You worked on C, right? Both of you. So we have something
Yeah.
called as, if you directly use A, we'll get whatever value inside A. But when you use ampersand A, ampersand will tell the address of A, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Similarly, if you directly use name, it will just render the value, whatever name, it just renders the name like we saw. But whenever you add these mustaches, it gets the value that is stored in this variable name. Now name is considered as a variable. It is not considered as a text as it is, right? It gets the value and puts. So now where do I have this name variable? I don't have name variable anywhere defined in this HTML page, right? So where is my name?
Yeah.
So that's the next question. So for that, we have to see app.js. So it's very simple, so we'll explain it. So we try to use ng app is equal to plunker, right? That name plunker. I could have
Yeah.
used my name also, right? My app, right? But if you see, that will not work, right? Why?
Yeah.
Because the it doesn't know what is my app is, but it knows what a plunker is. So where is it defined? Where is that specific word plunker defined? Or main controller. If I use main controller 1 or something like that, it will not work. It's only recognizing
Yeah.
main CTRL. But where is it defined? All those things are and where is name defined? So we need to know where are these three things coming from. These three things are coming from app.js. So in Angular, whenever we are using any app, ng app is equal to referring a particular app name. This is app name. So whenever you are referring that, you have to create an app in your in a JS file, okay, which we are including here. So whenever you're using, you're including a app.js file, right? So it can be any name. The JS file can be of any name. So here we create an app with name called plunker. You saw this? So Angular,
Yeah.
like dollar we have in jQuery, we have Angular keyword. So dollar dot we write something, right? Similarly here everything is written using Angular dot. Okay. Angular dot, we have to, app is a module. It's just a name. Module is a portion. Generally we call it a module is generally, you can refer it to as a portion of your page. So because we are rendering our Angular app in a portion, we can say Angular app is a module. Okay. We can create multiple modules like this. Like here, I can have 10 apps inside my page, right? With different names, plunker 1, plunker 2 or something like that. Got it?
Yeah.
So, but you have to define all of them here. You have to create multiple modules for each of them. So how do you create a module? Angular.module, you have to give module name, comma, an array. Like we pass in Java, main method we pass an arguments, right? Arguments array. Remember that?
Yeah.
Something like that. So in this array, what we do is we generally pass the dependencies. Let's say I'm using third party library, right? On top of Angular, if you want to use a third-party library, you have to inject. You have to say, let's say I'm using a Bootstrap library or something like that. I have to say UI.bootstrap, UI.bootstrap, something like that. So now my Angular JS can use the power of this particular okay, UI Bootstrap. But because UI Bootstrap was not there, it was throwing error. So we have to include that particular Bootstrap JS file also when we are using that. So whenever I can create a module like this, let's say I decided my name of app to be Anchor Plunker1. So now it failed, right? Because I named it Plunker1. Here I am saying Plunker, so it will fail. But when I write it as Plunker1 here, it will work. So whatever name you use for your app here, not here. You can still use Plunker here. UNCR, right? Okay, not C, Plunker. So you can use whatever name you want here. Sometimes it can be same also, right? But you should use the name that you give for the module, not for your variable. Okay, got it? So that's first step, right? It worked. Now, what is controller? Controller is the next thing. So once you create an app, we already said that controller should always be child of a app, right? So same here also. I created an app. Forget about this Angular module. I created an app. I created an app called Plunker, right? My controller is for Plunker app. So Plunker.controller. On top of this particular variable, now I have to, inside here, whenever I'm using, I should use this Plunker, not this. This is only for the HTML reference, not for anything else. Okay. Now I say Plunker.controller. I'm creating a controller on a Plunker app with a name called my control. You understood the syntax? And then you pass a function. So whatever function you pass, that acts as a controller, right?
Yeah.
Got the concept? So controller is a function. Plunker.controller is a function which accepts two things. One is name of the controller. One is the name of the controller. Next one is a function. Okay. Next one is a function which takes care of controlling everything. You write your all logic inside this particular function. Got it? So this is a controller. So whatever you define here, name you define here, you should use it here. So if you use main controller 1, it doesn't work. So you have to use it as main controller 1. Right? Now getting back to now we understood where the Plunker name came from. We understood where the main CTRL came from. Now what we need to understand is where did this name come from, right? Here. Where did this name come from? So the name came from here. So, and another important point of every controller is, I told you, right, every controller have its own scope. It should not enter into other scope. So we pass a parameter to this function, controller function, which is called scope. So this particular scope variable is a default variable of Angular. You should not change the syntax. It should always be $scope. So the $scope will take care of scoping the variables, whatever is defined in this particular controller to particular tag that we used here. So we use this ng controller as main controller 1 to this tag, right? So that $scope will take care of putting the variable names and all to particular scope between 16 and 18 lines. Got it?
Yeah.
So $scope, whatever you can, it's an object. So you can put whatever variable names you want to that, attach some variables to it or something like that. Now we know, right, how to add a variable to object. Object dot some variable name is equal something. It becomes part of that object. Now, so this is about controller. Now the model, this is called model, right? We told name is a model. Now how do we define models? Model is something like creating a variable on top of a scope variable. So we have a scope variable, right? $scope. $scope dot name is equal to world. You have to do something like this. Whenever you do this, inside the controller, whenever you use that name variable that knows that, okay, I have to refer whenever you say like this, it knows that HTML, my browser knows that, okay, I should go to this particular controller called main controller one and get a scope variable called name, $scope.name. It knows that, okay. It goes to the main controller one and gets $scope.name value and puts it here. So what did I define $scope.name value as? World. Now this can be an array also, right? It can be an array, it can be anything, right? But let's have it as a string for the moment, okay? Now I have a string. I said it as world. Now whatever is inside name will be rendered here. Got it?
Yeah.
So let's say I removed it. I say hello guys. So now if you see, that changes automatically.
Yeah.
But if you want to do this same thing in JavaScript or jQuery, what do you have to do? You have to get that element. Already you rendered it as something, right? Now,
Yeah.
if you want to change it, what you have to do in JavaScript or jQuery, get that particular element by p tag and then change the inner HTML to something else, right? We do DOM manipulations. But if you see here, we are not at all dealing with DOM. I'm just setting some value to this name and automatically that is getting reflected here. So on the fly, let's say on click, I want to change something. I just have to change the variable name, that's all. Name to something else. Automatically you'll see it in the DOM. You don't have to again get the DOM element and bind, change the value inner HTML of it. Right?
Yeah.
Got the point?
Yeah.
So this is the basic of AngularJS. So probably you try to go to the Plunker and create a new AngularJS app with 1.4x and then try to again just try to change something, try to modify something and see if you have any doubts. We'll probably discuss tomorrow. Okay?
Yeah, Vishwanath, if you want to have multiple controllers in the page, we need to define each and every controller.
Exactly. Like
Okay.
this. The particular app, right? Wherever you want to use that particular thing, you have to use it. For example, I'll say my controller as world. Okay? And this as guys. Now I come here. I have to use multiple controllers. So both the controllers come under Plunker app, right? So I have to put them inside Plunker app only. Now I have to say them, one of them is controller, another is main controller one. Now if you see, both of them I'm using name only, if you see. But this controller set the name variable as world. This particular set the name variable as guys. That's the reason if you see here, that's what's happening, right? That's the reason though
Yeah.
both of them are showing different values. Although it looks to be same, the tag looks to be very same, but because the controller is changing, the model's value is changing, right? This is a model. Name is a model. Model value is changing. So because model value is changed, the browser rendered as per that particular scope. That's the reason we use scope variable here. So we are setting to
Yeah.
that scope. So this particular name variable goes to this particular controller and gets the scope dot value of this particular variable, this particular controller,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So that is the basics of AngularJS. So first you understand this, then we'll see other concepts tomorrow. So these are the basic things. If you understand this, you can basically try to build your applications and do something that you want. We actually discuss so many things here, but we'll discuss each of them individually. This is just an example. We'll take each of them and try to cover as much as possible, right?